People say I'm playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Haven't played this in a long time because there isn't a whole lot I can do, I don't think.
Beginning of greatness right here. September 21st, 2023. The beginning of greatness. Watch what I'm about to do. 2024. 20. Another world. Watch what I'm about to do.
Big boy Ash, anything that goes on in this stream right now, my responsibility, even if it's nothing to do with anything. I chose to do this.
Guys, Duke University. Let's get it. Yeah. Understand the assignments? When's the time? Go. Do this, nigga. Let's go. Oh, shit. Overhand is there.
Damn.
How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I just saw something really interesting. We have George Camel from Dave Ramsey. He's one of the personalities that goes on Dave Ramsey's show and is a host, and he has his own channel now too. Very popular guy. Lives by the Dave Ramsey principles. He just talked about what the riskiest thing he'd do in a lot of people's minds. What is the riskiest thing he would invest in? And he'd invest in Bitcoin and crypto. I want to actually play this for you. It's actually quite interesting, and it shows how even some of the most conservative, most skeptical investors out there are now turning more into Bitcoin specifically. Obviously, there are a lot of Ponzi's, there are a lot of high-risk plays, there's a lot of gambling, and he does point that fact out, and the fact that some people, are kind of difficult to interact with within the crypto world. But let me play this for you, and then we'll talk about it a little bit afterwards. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video in case you want to check out the link to Margex. It's underneath the video. You can trade Bitcoin there, you can trade cryptocurrency, and they're doing a big Caspet airdrop there right now, so check that out underneath. But let's play.
For the long term, I don't invest without a 5+ year horizon.
What about Bitcoin?
My feelings on Bitcoin, I would say they've changed. I'm not a Bitcoin hater. I personally don't have any cryptocurrency. I'm not mad if people do. I just hope that they're also investing at least 15% into retirement accounts, into tried and true methods, and then using their fund money to invest in crypto. And if you're going to invest in crypto, Bitcoin is the current winner with the best track record. Would you?
Now, I'll give my thoughts on this afterwards, but keep in mind, this is someone that works closely with Dave Ramsey. They believe in 15-year mortgages that you pay off as soon as possible, no matter what the interest rate is. And while he's not saying to go put a lot of money into Bitcoin, right? A lot of people watching this channel do not agree with him. They think that you should put more money into it. The fact is, he's still saying that, maybe it makes sense. Maybe you want to do that, and he's okay with it. Keep that in mind, because these are people that don't even use credit cards. It's kind of crazy. Let me keep playing it for you, though.
Do you invest 1% of your net worth in Bitcoin?
Ooh, would I? I don't know at what point I would be comfortable doing that versus just putting it into the market, even a brokerage account, into an index fund. I'm much more comfortable just throwing money into an index fund versus, well, what if that money could 20x?
But you could put it in a Bitcoin ETF.
What would that ETF do for me versus just Bitcoin solo?
The ETF would just be easier to buy, and you'd be able to do it from within a
But it's still one
retirement
coin.
account.
Yeah, it's still like a single stock in that regard.
Yes.
If there was I'll say this, if there was an ETF or index fund that had a collection of the best cryptocurrencies, I would say, all right, I'll put some fun money in there. That would be my caveat.
I have a feeling at some point that's going to happen.
Well, and the whole idea is that it's unregulated. But now as it gets more regulated, it kind of takes the steam out of it, in a sense. Now, I get there's a finite amount of Bitcoin and all of that, and it can't be devalued with inflation and printing money. So that part is actually the most interesting part to me. I talked to Tom Bilyeu about this.
Yeah.
But really what bothers me is the people that are into it. It's not the crypto, it's amoral. It's like a brick. You can throw it through a window, you can build a school. The people that are into Bitcoin, like once you have hashtag Bitcoin in your X profile, I'm like, oh, you're not okay. There's mental health issues.
Okay, so I know some people feel strongly about that, and some people disagree with this. But remember, this is someone that's in the investment space, has a lot of viewers, has a lot of pull. People feel very strongly about Dave Ramsey, and people that have gotten rid of debt through Dave Ramsey love him. It's kind of like Bitcoin, right? Where it almost feels like emotional. Now, what he points out there is that he doesn't like when people are like too into Bitcoin, because there are a lot of people that say you're an idiot if you don't have Bitcoin, that kind of stuff. And I don't think that's a way to reach people, right? I never try to shove Bitcoin down anyone's throats, right? I don't talk about it much in my daily life. If someone asks me about it, I'll tell them my thoughts on it. But just like here, like, you find this video because you're searching for Bitcoin. Now, I think people buy Bitcoin at the point that they deserve, at the price that they deserve, and they buy it because they need it, right? Especially when you look at like what Michael Saylor did. He bought Bitcoin because he needed something to outperform, right? He was losing money due to asset inflation, and just in general, the devaluation of currency. So this is interesting. I just wanted to point this out because this is just from a few hours ago. I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen it. But before this, this is how conservative an investor George is, that he was talking about buying your first rental property in cash. Like, not saving up for 20, 30, 40% down payment, nothing like that, but paying for it in cash. Again, I'm not saying that what he's saying is right or wrong or anything like that. Obviously, very risk-off investor. We're only talking about 1% of Bitcoin, but that shows, again, how far we've come. Now, he isn't Dave Ramsey, right? Dave Ramsey has his own thoughts, but he's kind of an offshoot of Dave. And even he is saying, 1%, yeah, that's okay. Or if you're already investing 15% into mutual funds and 401ks, retirement funds, yeah, you could throw in some Bitcoin or something like that. He says he even finds, parts of Bitcoin attractive, like the fact that it can't be devalued, or that it can't be printed like the US dollar. And then, they go on to talk about what Bitcoin could be used for in the future. Graham says that he thinks that eventually we'll get to a place where you can just buy a house.
No, what?
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and today we're looking at the aftermath of the whole Mr. Beast stuff that has basically been taking the internet by storm the last month, and it's actually become pretty much mainstream news to the point that people who don't have any connection to YouTube are actually kind of talking about it. So I've covered a couple videos of popular Mr. Beast investigators in this case. One of them was Dogpack404, who's made several videos in this case covering Mr. Beast live stream and bringing forward some really wild and wacky allegations. So to begin with, let me just recap this whole thing real quickly in a couple minutes. All right, one of the big allegations was around a former massive Mr. Beast member, Chris Tyson, who, was alleged to be holding on to some wild art from a, creator known as Shadman. Also alleged to apparently have some rather risque things and jokes said in a Discord server that had a mixture of adults and minors all brought into it. Not a good look at all. Since then, Chris Tyson's pretty much left the internet. Mr. Beast has pretty much abandoned any support for them. But of course, the whole spotlight shifted over to Mr. Beast's company, when Dogpack404 made a couple of videos where he was alleging some pretty serious stuff. One of them was that Mr. Beast was allegedly running some crazy lotteries for children. Giveaways would end up being games of chance and actual lotteries that, was a pretty serious thing, right? When you're making content for children and you're giving things away, there's a pretty ethical issue of like how do you distribute stuff, how do you give away prizes, how do you do giveaways, and how do you produce content that isn't designed to exploit children whatsoever, right? Which is something that I'm still kind of waiting for an answer on. Now, the other massive serious allegation was that Mr. Beast had knowingly hired a criminal, okay? Now, one of the people that was working in the Mr. Beast company, Delaware, who is on plenty of these videos, sometimes masked up, was unmasked by Dogpack404 into actually having a criminal record where they were involved rather, grossly with a minor. And in this situation, what had effectively happened was apparently alleging through Dogpack404 and the people, bringing these allegations, Mr. Beast and their mother knowingly hired a criminal, into their company. So it is really, really wild, wild stuff. Now, of course, this is on the backs of one of the largest productions
You avoided
that
the
Mr.
attack?
Beast has ever really been on. One where he has to team up with one of the largest corporations in the world, Amazon, producing the Beast games in Las Vegas. And that's also its own rabbit hole of serious concerns, where actual class action lawsuits have been filed. Now, the reason why the story is, again, very important to me is I'm always interested in any kind of criminality at times, whenever, like, YouTubers are kind of involved, okay? And for me, obviously, if you've watched some of my financial investigations or crypto investigations, you've seen that there have been some rather intense takedowns of some pretty larger YouTubers getting involved with pretty shady cryptocurrencies. But I also consider things like, mishandling employees. I consider things like what is allegedly happening in the Mr. Beast, where people aren't being treated right. These are, to me, as severe as any financial allegation that I've ever seen. And before somebody goes, "Oh, this is just drama," I don't consider any form of this to really be drama. To me, drama is like really stupid stuff, like when a creator like cheats on a significant other. To me, that's a shitty thing, but that's just tabloid gossip that I'm kind of involving myself into. This has some serious stakes into it. The serious stakes being that, ultimately it is a poor reflection on YouTubers if the biggest YouTuber in the game is unfortunately involved and is participating in unsavory activities or mishandling a company. It makes other advertisers, it makes other people from other avenues of entertainment or big companies more resistant to work with a YouTuber, because once you've had the biggest YouTuber fucking up, how likely is it that the average YouTuber, or, a slightly larger YouTuber, but not as large as Mr. Beast, somebody with like 10 million subscribers, 20 million subscribers, is as, are they also going to be responsible? If the biggest guy can't be responsible, what chance is it for the people below them, right? So anyways, long spiel out of the way. One of the things that kind of really got me was, again, Dogpack's most recent video, Mr. Beast's secret CEO. So the way that these videos are presented, and they're kind of like these 27-minute long pieces where like Dogpack sits in front of this like digital like conspiracy like board where he just has like all these articles and shit brought up. So one of the things that really irked me was this line from the video right here. And I want to see if you guys can identify what irks me as well, given that I teach all of you guys to basically take everything you hear on the internet with a grain of salt and always apply some critical fucking thinking.
Although James Warren by name in my last video, his Instagram and Facebook got taken down, and his LinkedIn got taken down. So quick profile on James Warren. He's Jimmy's cousin and secret CEO, and I say secret because they're not very open about that fact. Like he doesn't post about it on social media. It wasn't ever attached to his LinkedIn. He's never featured or really referenced anywhere. I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases. Specifically, that surprise witness on YouTube, she's been super helpful in like...
What? Wait, hold on a minute. So you're going to make a 27-minute long video about a pretty serious topic, and you're going to bring some pretty serious charges up. domestic violence is no joke, okay? It's something that happens all the time, all right, unfortunately. And the perpetrators behind it sometimes get away with some dastardly things, and sometimes it can lead to the ultimate end for, you know, the victim party. So this is not some joke, and to not properly verify or vet this claim before you even brought it up involving an entire name, even if you use the words like allegedly, it's a pretty shitty thing to do from an investigatory standpoint. That surprise witness TV person they brought up, well, it gets even spicier here.
They're alleging things.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every
To spit on that thing. I'm like,
sit on that thing?
Respect.
Well, it's official. The Hawk Tour girl is basically the internet's new Skibbity Toilet. Now, Skibbity Toilet needs no introduction to the point that it could basically be seen in any kind of media. Like, for example, Call of Duty Warzone. Recently, they did a collab with Smile 2, a film that will come out that will probably be pretty mid. But they did a collab with Warzone where you can make some of the characters like possessed, and I saw this on stream and it literally just looked like Skibbity Toilet. Now, you've probably seen the hilarious viral video of the girl that gets asked about, you know, what she would do in a certain situation, and she says she would, and I quote, "Huck tour, spit on that thing."
you gotta answer this. You gotta.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh,
That
you
do.
gotta give him that hot tour. Spit on that thing. You get me?
Now, this is definitely one of those memes where the memes surrounding it are more funny than the actual meme itself, because is the original thing funny? No. But you know what's funny? How viral it blew up because of unfunny people finding it funny. So then the ironic people came in and they can't let anyone have fun, so they started making all these semi-sarcastic memes about it.
Hot Tour, Top Tour, Podcast. Hot Tour, Hot Tour, Hot Tour.
You do it. Hot to.
You gotta put fucking emphasis on like tour.
I'm not joking you. Open your phone right now, go on TikTok, and within 10 scrolls guaranteed there will just be some bizarre Hawk Tour ironic meme. Trigger warning, dark humor. Hawk 1. What's 9 plus 10? Hawk 2. Juggler. Why so serious? Those who don't know, explanation in comment. Like for part 2. And then the reply is explanation Hawk Tour. Follow for more funny Hawk Tour moments. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, this current generation is absolutely drenched in irony to the point that they probably cannot hold a single genuine conversation. And of course, like any unfunny meme, it's been forced into the higher echelons of society, that being politics, where Kamala Harris was implied to be the original Hawk Tour girl. Now, since the Hawk Tour incident, two things have happened. Haley Welch, the Hawk Tour girl, is now an internet sensation with everyone loving her, most of them semi-sarcastically. And second of all, the guy that filmed it, that made her famous, got absolutely zero clout, which has actually now reached the point that you have people, like, again, semi-sarcastically, feeling bad for the guy. You know the scene in The Boys where the Deep is, like, cropped out of a news report and he's sat there drunk in the bar being like, hey, they cropped out my picture. That's exactly what happened with the cameraman who filmed the Hawk Tour girl. He got no clout, unlucky.
Hey, that's my shoulder. What? Right there.
You gotta answer this. You
It's my
gotta.
fucking
What's
shoulder.
one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every
It
time?
cut me from the
Oh, you
picture.
gotta give him that hot tour.
He's cut me from the fucking picture. They can't cut me out.
Hey.
Now, what does anyone do when they get a viral meme? They cling to it for dear life. It's actually kind of funny because I swear, like, the way the internet works now with, like, TikTok and Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, everything is supercharged. Like, memes will become popular and then they'll die within a day. Usually, you'd have, like, a meme of the month or something like that, but now, like, everything just is born and dies so much quicker. So a lot of people that become viral realize this, and they try as hard as they can to capitalize on what they have before it dies off. This girl, Haley, the Hokutua girl, she basically would have been forgotten by next week, but she was smart and actually managed to get networking with people to keep the meme alive. Is everyone going to get sick of it and everyone's going to hate her? Probably, but she'll be making a lot of money out of it. There's already various social media accounts. She's selling merch. She was pitched at the Mets game. She was also on stage with country singer Zach Bryan. And even there's this conspiracy going around that she was in the Israeli Defense Force and her southern accent is fake. Now, I want to talk more for a minute about the people that posted the original Hawk Tour clip. That was an interview clip posted by Tim and DTV. And they've actually gone on the record saying that they're unhappy that basically she slurped up all the clout and became famous and no one cares about them. Although, to be fair, they're not that bitter about it. They do say that they, wish her to be successful, to be happy. She was even embraced by Elon Musk when she, came onto Twitter, like everyone does that wants clout. This was mostly due to her love for free speech, which isn't really surprising for Elon because I feel the guy will platform anyone that he can use as an agenda. So yeah, she's covering every single facet, but she's missed something. There's one thing the Hokutua girl has not done. What does every single person do when they realize they're putting in too much effort into their content and they want to make more money by doing less? A podcast. Yeah, she started a podcast because, of course she did, because she realized that the meme is probably going to die off soon, and a podcast is actually a long-term investment. And also, podcasts, this is why every single YouTuber has a podcast, by the way, because they make the most insane amount of money imaginable. Imagine being a YouTuber, right? I know she's not a YouTuber, but for comparison, like a YouTuber will be lucky to get like one sponsor a video. With a podcast, you can just layer them up. You got like 5, 6, 7 sponsors. And guess who the Hawk Tour girl signed up with? Jake Paul. Of course, Jake Paul somehow got involved in this story. You know what? Hawk Tour. He basically runs a media company, like, loads of people that were originally big in the LA scene do. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, people like Cody Ko as well. They're all people that kind of like have their fingers in loads of little different companies and pies. It's kind of funny because you start to pick up like a sixth sense for this kind of stuff as well. Like I remember when Cody Ko, before the cancellation, when he would do videos and he'd always have like a can of liquid death on the table, and it's like, you don't like drinking it, you definitely own part of the company. So back in 2022, Jake Paul co-founded a sports betting app called Better. This is like really common again in that kind of like creator scene. People team up with managers that don't know how to do anything, they just need money to invest into. So Jake Paul would just like give someone like a couple mil or something to begin a company and then get shares in that company. It's funny because when you look up Ohio, it's one of the first things to appear in search, and that's because the app has jurisdiction to allow people to play it from Ohio and Indiana. Jake Paul is from Ohio. It all comes back to Ohio. This is the part where I make like an Ohio joke or something, but I'm not a YouTube Shorts user.
What if instead of high school we had Rizzler School?
So I don't really understand online betting that much. Thankfully, I'm not someone that uses it because genuinely I feel if I started, I'd probably get some kind of like crippling gambling addiction or something. I think the only 2 times I've bet in my entire life was basically just betting on the Logan Paul and KSI fight and then the rematch. I made some bizarre bet hoping that they both like killed each other. In a video game. No, I just did some... Ooh, you can tell I'm getting invested now, this voice break. I did some bizarre bet, basically just hoping they both like knocked each other out at the same time. It was like, the chances were so comedic. If you put down like $1, you get paid 10 million. But yeah, surprisingly, that didn't work out. But yeah, the way Better works apparently is micro betting. So you basically place a bet on a specific part of the game instead of, betting for one big team to win. It's all the smaller details like, will this pitcher catch the ball? Will her pants fall down? Ooh, I really hope her pants fall down because I put $5 on that, so I'll get paid $20. There's probably other bets as well you can make on there, like betting for a cricket game to be interesting.
Son of Rashid Khan.
I'm pretty sure the odds there are 0, though, like actual -0. So yeah, basically American sports betting stuff. This will be important later. Now, besides the sport betting stuff, there's also a media division of Better, and that's where Talk Tour was born. This media network also includes other podcasts, like Jake's own podcast called BS with Jake Paul. Now, the Sizzle reel teaser was actually posted a couple of days before the first episode, and that was giving a sneak peek with certain guest appearances like Jake Paul, very world-famous Lunchly creator Logan Paul, and also Whitney Cummings. I did not laugh at that. Dude, I got the humor of a 2-year-old. This sucks. She's basically a stand-up comedian and a co-creator of Two Broke Girls. Whitney Cummings. Come. And also possibly, because of course you definitely care about this, her Pookie, aka her current boyfriend.
Who is Pookie? Who is Pookie?
He may stop by too.
Now, the entire premise of the show is the very brave statement that after your 15 seconds of fame, you're done. But she's desperately trying to cling on to that, saying she's just getting started. Now, when the episode began, first of all, can you tell that I'm lying back in my chair, trying to make as little noise as possible? That's because, shh, the women are talking now.
She said she spits on it. Well, I fart on it.
Basically, the episode was Talk to Her. I'm not going to call her name, I'm just going to call her Talk to Her. And then Whitney Cummings. Now, how was the episode? Was it groundbreaking? Was it awe-inspiring? Did they talk about deep philosophy? Wait, whoever's editing this, can you put in the gif of Danny DeVito in the corner clapping with the caption, "This fucking sucks"? That one. Yeah, that one was like crying.
And her Poochie Manana? What the fuck?
A lot of people actually pointed out that Whitney was running the podcast more than the Talk to a Girl. I mean, to be fair, she's not really a podcast host. She doesn't really know how to do a podcast. It is her first episode. But if it's your episode and you're trying to break away from just being a one-bit Andy, you think you'd actually try and put a little bit more effort in. There were also really weird tangents going around as well during the podcast, like Files loving Botox.
If you're a girl and you get Botox, number one, you're going to attract Files.
Love of pubic hair.
Stop shaving your vagina hair.
Don't stop shaving your vagina hair. I don't know where the fuck Whitney's going with this. Don't stop.
No.
Farting.
And it was like, yeah, sure, hot to a girl was like onto something, but she said she spits on it. Well, I fart on it. And I was like, what?
Her anti-feminist views.
There's this new thing where, like, I don't know, women that are like, think that they're empowered or like, I'm a feminist, I don't cook, I don't clean. I'm like,
no, I like doing that.
I'm like,
I
bitch,
love
what
doing
do you do?
that. Yeah, exactly.
Or how her boyfriend should swallow an AirTag.
Did you make him swallow an AirTag? I think Pookie needs to swallow an AirTag.
This is really...
It really is just the definition of women talking in an enclosed space. Yeah, can we get the GIF in again? This fucking sucks. Can we get the GIF in? This episode also included some hilarious laugh out loud XD moments, like the talk to a girl, talk to my nuts.
Got it!
She was basically teaching Chelsea how to do the hock to her.
One more time.
I can't do it as good as
Do
him.
it.
You do it.
No, you do.
Hot to.
You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like to. You know, like to. Yeah. Say it. All right, all together.
Hot to.
Hot to.
And then there was this like really forced segment where the talk to a girl was talking about Jake Paul, and it was, oh my god, it was more glazed than Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I get it, he gave you this deal, you're probably already like a multi-millionaire or something, like it was probably in the contract to do a little bit of glazing, but oh my god, just let it go, man.
So, you've had Jake Paul, you've had, I don't know what order you're going to do this in, but you've had Jake Paul on?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes. So far.
Jake's pretty wild.
He's a little spooky to talk to. That's like a man, you know. That is not like a little soft boy, you know. It's easy to talk to. That's a whole man right there.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a little ass girl over here talking to this grown man. I was like, what do I talk to him about, you know?
But you knew him before, right? Were you a
Yeah.
fan before?
Yeah, I watched him for a few years.
Now, Haley and Whitney did actually bond a little bit over animal sanctuaries at one point. Something Haley has actually been a huge advocate for, pretty much when she started using her socials.
That launched yesterday. It's Paws Across America.
Nice.
Answer all the I'm taking a nap. I still can't find it. Okay, there's
So what is your strategy on how, what dogs you take, which animals you take, which you don't?
But apart from that little wholesome bit, the first episode, the GIF, please, editors, put the GIF in, the GIF. Yep. Thank you. Now, even though the episode was absolutely nothing, it was more nothing than the Darkwood video, which, by the way, we have merch. Please buy some, because I didn't get a sponsor for that video, please. Thank you very much. Parasitical.store right now. Very good, very good. Again, even though the episode was a bunch of nothing, this then led the ironic crowd to semi-sarcastically endorse the show, saying that they'll get certain guests on, like Donald Trump, Kim Jong-un. There's all these TikToks going around as well, of like people ironically watching the show, just like applauding it, like it's the Joker Part 2 or something. So if you thought episode 1 was the equivalent of an A24 film, nothing happens. Wait until you see episode 2. I'm just laughing at the A24 run. I swear I get backlash every single time, but it's like, nothing happens. Nothing happens in these films. Nothing. It's just such a snide jab, man, because it's like, oh, I didn't like the cinematography, oh, I didn't like the soundtrack, oh, I didn't like the acting, but then, if you just say nothing happens, it's just like you're going into a cinema, you pay like $20 for a ticket, like the popcorn and all that, you just sat there watching like not even a fucking film playing, just black screen, nothing happened. Okay, that's nearly as funny as there ain't no seat on that bike. You know there ain't no seat on that bike. So, episode 2, Hayley is back with Chelsea in their hometown of Belfast, Tennessee. Now, you know it's a rough recording when your first episode is barely an hour, and then the follow-up episode it's not even half an hour. Even the last few minutes of the podcast, it's just Hayley and some girls going to Taco Bell.
I'm always down for Taco Bell. You want to buy hot freeze?
In terms of highlights, though, this episode does address that, Israeli Defense Force soldier conspiracy thing I mentioned.
This is a crazy conspiracy theory. I don't know if you've seen this. Wait till y'all find out she's low-key a former Israel soldier. Cosplaying a Southern belle after a billionaire dad hired a PR firm to scrub her past off the internet, particularly her old TikTok, where she ain't even speak English, let alone had a fake-ass Southern accent.
A fake-ass Southern accent. You know, there's times I wish I didn't have an accent. Trillbur! Who sent you? You're on to me. You're so good. How'd you catch me? Stupid ass.
Now, we do have some spicy hot tour drama. One part of the episode that people found really concerning was the fact that Hayley basically just admitted that she hit her boyfriend when she got angry.
Let's talk about the time Hayley punched her ex in the face.
I actually smacked him once.
Smack. It was like a hard whack.
That's what I loved about him.
And her cope was you can't joke around her because she takes things very seriously.
And I don't know if he was joking or not. You can't joke around with me too much because I'm like really hot-headed and I take it a little too far.
So yeah, again, it's the only podcast where every episode is slowly getting worse and worse. And of course, as well, it was sponsored by the betting app. Honestly, my takeaway from this, everyone needs to stop making podcasts, please. You do not need to make a podcast just because you became viral for like making the troll face or something, okay? Now, I don't know what's going to happen with her. She's getting a lot of connections, a lot of contacts right now. She might be getting her own TV show. Could you imagine like MTV Cribs, but MTV Hawk Tour? It is weird though in a sense because we are seeing this shift in society right now. Society. Joker smile emoji. But what I mean is like most people right now that are incredibly rich, incredibly famous, they're Nepo babies, right? They got a leg up through like their, my daddy was a director, or, they just had a lot of money from their family. But now we're seeing this generation of people that are becoming rich and successful, despite the fact that they came from like absolutely nothing. I mean, the Hawk Tour girl, she blew up because of a meme, and then she networked with people that were successful. I mean, most YouTubers are a great example of this. Most of them genuinely just came from nothing. I mean, me, for example, like my parents, working class background. I even remember as a kid like begging my parents to get like an Xbox 360, but we genuinely just did not have the money for it. And now, like, I've got a Porsche. That's what I would say if I drove. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is like there's definitely a bit of a shit.
You think you're all that, do you? Is that all? Well, he got the blood pumping at least. Huh? Hey, did you guys hear something?
What the hell?
Fix this. Every day's a training day.
Right, what have we got around here?
What with these recommendations? What is this?
Flash kids.
He's late again. Useless. You know Naruto's condition has progressed. Give him time. He needs supportive friends right now more than anything.
Sorry I'm late, guys. I was busy training to be the next Hokage.
Come on, Kakashi, look at him. He'll never be a real ninja.
He looks like a boiled vegetable.
That's enough. Listen up. Here's the mission. On me, I have 2 bells. But there's 3 of you. The one who can't get a bell gets kicked out of training.
He got the blood pumping.
You can use any weapons. If you're not prepared to kill me, you won't be able to take the bells. Okay, little buddy. You ready?
Watch out! Here I come!
Oh, there you go. Almost. Uh-oh. I wonder where Naruto could be. I hope he doesn't attack my ninja blind spot. Oop, you're gonna have to try a little harder. Maybe channel your chakras.
He's right. I'm the last one left. There's only one thing I can do. Hey, Naruto, folks. Hello. Kakashi's really strong. I know. You want my help? Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, owie. Your chakra is so powerful. Good job, Naruto. Ow! Okay, that's a little hard, Naruto. Ah!
Naruto? What are you doing? You said that we had to kill you because he's insane. Naruto! Naruto! I don't know what to do. You said we had to kill you. I can't go off Naruto far. You said we had to kill you. I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let me just fix this.
That is right. That is right, y'all.
Right, what have we got around here?
What the? Yeah, that farming one was fun, man. I like that one. I really like that one.
Let me just fix this.
Ooh, interesting. Alright, try this one.
5 years ago, bullying in junior high got so bad I stopped leaving my room. I don't want to do this. I lost all hope. Depressed, aimless.
I wouldn't even call that a warm-up.
It happened.
Oh. Oh, cool.
Congratulations, sad one. After a great
Oh.
deal of careful consideration, you have been selected for reincarnation.
What? Did you say? You're kidding. I guess I ended up dying in that room.
Oh.
In this new world, magic means everything. So I'll grant you overpowered skills to facilitate your new life. And for this time around, how about you try to enjoy things to the fullest, okay?
In that case, there's only one thing I can ask for. A nice, quiet life.
Huh.
Bitching anime and games all day long until I finally pass out for the night. That seems lazy, but that's my jam. All right, reincarnate me.
I don't want to do this, but you're in our way.
They seem a little...
Oh.
Use those OP skills she mentioned to live a sweet, low-key life. Fantasy world or not.
Shall we deal with this? I'll keep up the attack. Way too soon.
Nice.
Noah, Lance wants something a bit meatier.
Start out as a baby?
It's a boy, son.
Oh.
So happy and wrinkled.
You're in our way.
Gotta start out as a baby.
It's good to keep a record.
Wait, oh, Uni is rank 20. Yeah, I know.
I'll hit him, and then I'm gonna hit him again.
We're better to monitor the battle than on healing duty.
I'll protect you. I'll protect you. I'll protect you. I'll protect you.
I'll keep us safe from harm.
Oh, most excellent. Well, Gisolati, a lovely prince who takes after us both. He clearly bears the royal insignia on his left breast. There's no doubt this gorgeous boy's our child.
Well, of course he is. What an odd thing to say.
This babe and handsome old dude are my parents? And they're royalty? I'm gonna be able to stay in all day if I want to. And now let's get on with the magical assessment, shall we?